very much. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for the investment you make in our economy. Thank you for the apprentices that you train. Thank you for all the people you employ. This is a thrilling business in a very exciting market, and it's great to be here today. But I wanted to be here today for a particular reason, because, as you know, there's a television debate taking place tonight. It's called the Challengers Debate. So the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister don't get invited to this one. It's the red team, the green team, the purple team, and the yellow team from Scotland. So we're not there. So I thought, well, I want to have a debate of my own. And I thought, well, people in Yorkshire, they're known for being hesitant and very quiet, and, you know, so I thought I'd come here. So this is my debate. So I'm going to say a few words about what I think this election is about, but then we've got plenty of time for your questions and my answers, and please don't hold back. Any question you want to ask, whether it's about business, whether it's about Yorkshire, whether it's about poverty and inequality, housing, any concern you've got. I may not have the answer, but I'll do my best to answer as many as we can in the 45 minutes or so that we've got today. But let me tell you briefly what I think this election is about and why I'm so passionate about serving another 5 years as Prime Minister. Look, 5 years ago, we did inherit a real mess economically. There was that famous note that Ed Balls apparently thinks is a joke, which wasn't a joke, which said there is no money left. And I'm not saying we got everything right in the last 5 years, but we've taken decisions to try and get our economy back on track. We've got 2 million more people in work. We've cut the deficit by half as a share of our economy. We've got about 750,000 more businesses operating in Britain, and we can see the economy is now growing. It's actually, last year, grew faster than any other major economy in the Western world. Allied to that, we've tried to reduce people's taxes. We've tried to make it easier for people to buy homes. We've tried to improve the schools that are available. We've tried to turn this country around. I would say we haven't finished the job, which is why I know I want to go on and finish it, but we have made some good progress. But elections aren't just about a record. They're also about a team, and I think I have a strong team. You know how important that is here at O2 to have a good team. I think my Chancellor of the Exchequer has taken good and strong and right decisions. I've got a Home Secretary in Theresa May who helps to keep this country safe. I've got a team. It's not just me, it's the team. But crucial for an election is the plan. And that's what I've been trying to set out during this election campaign. A plan that says we've created 2 million jobs, let's now create another 2 million and get to full employment in our country. A plan that says we've had 2 million apprentices trained in this Parliament, let's find the money to train 3 million in the next Parliament. A plan that says we have helped more people, particularly young people, get on the housing ladder with Help to Buy, but let's go further than that and now build starter homes at 80% of the market price, reserved for people under the age of 40, can't be bought by buy-to-let landlords, can't be bought by foreign property investors, bought for young people living here in Yorkshire. A plan that says we've got 1 million more children in good or outstanding schools, and I know how much that matters. I've got 3 kids in a London state primary school. Let's get another 1 million children into good or outstanding schools. And a plan that also says, and I know this might seem odd when there are so many people in the early part of their working life or middle of their working life here, a plan that says let's make sure we give people dignity and security in retirement. One of the key pledges we've made is to say we'll keep up what we've done with the triple lock on pensions so that pensions always go up by inflation, earnings, or 2.5%. Because I think if you've worked hard and put in and done the right thing, you should have that decent retirement. And that goes to the last thing I want to say in introduction, which is elections aren't just about records, teams, and plans. They're also about values. And the values that I want to see in this country are the values, yes, that we're compassionate and we look after those who can't look after themselves. Yes, we're a force in the world for good, but crucially, we're a country where if you work hard and you put in and you do the right thing, the system should be on your side and reward you rather than punish you. And I think that's the crucial thing we need to see in our country. That was all I wanted to say. Now it's time for your questions and my answers. If you put your hand in the air, I think there are roving microphones, but we're all pretty close together, so we may not even need them. Who wants to go first? Gentleman over here.
There was a report today about the IMF said there was a £7 billion deficit at the end of the next Parliament. Your government said there would be £7 billion surplus. How do you explain those two figures?
Absolutely. What the IMF are forecasting, regrettably from my point of view, is the IMF are forecasting that I don't win the election outright. And if I don't win the election outright, they think that the scale of savings and efficiencies that will be found will be less than if I do win the election outright. We've set out our plans very clearly, and we are 23 seats short from an overall majority. And if we achieve that majority, we've already done our spending plans for this year, and then for the following 2 years, we have to save £1 in every £100 that the government spends in order to achieve a budget surplus along the lines that you say, sir. Now, I think that's the right thing to do, and I'll tell you why. First of all, what business in our country can't find 1 out of every £100 to save? I don't think that is impossible. But why does all this matter? Why does it matter having a surplus rather than a deficit? Well, I'll tell you why I think it matters. If you go on running a deficit, first of all, you're adding to your debt, you're adding to the debt interest bill, that's money you can't spend on schools and hospitals, but also, is it right for our children? Do we really want to go on endlessly borrowing and building up the debt so that we put onto our children a burden of debt that they can't repay? I say that after 2018, we should have had 7 years of economic growth. By then, we should be having a surplus. We should be paying down some of the debt, putting money aside for a rainy day. I think that's what a responsible business would do, it's what a responsible family would do, and it's what we should do. And if I win the election outright, you'll see my forecast put in place, not the IMF ones. Who wants to go next? We can take them from the balcony or from wherever else. Gentleman at the back over here.
What about Assembly for Yorkshire? What about making our own decisions here about the taxes that are raised here? Why can't we spend the money here?
Very good point. Why can't we make more decisions here in Yorkshire? I think you should, sir, and that's what these city deals are about, where basically we've been emptying out Whitehall of money and powers and giving them to the West Yorkshire authorities, particularly Leeds, and saying you should have more powers over housing, over skills, over training. And when you attract businesses to Leeds, you should keep the business rates. Because before this government came along, if you in Leeds attracted more businesses here, you didn't keep any of the money. So what was the incentive to local authorities to be business friendly? Virtually none. Well, we're saying it should be as high as 70%, 75% business rate retention. So attract business to Leeds, keep the money, spend it on the infrastructure that you want, rather than what the man or woman in Whitehall will think is best. I think this is a very big programme that we've done some of in this Parliament, and I'd like to do more of in the next Parliament. Okay, more questions? Lady down here.
Hi, my question's about university
Yes.
costs. So I've got 2 children, one of which is at university and will be for 6 years. And, you know, he's borrowed £9,000
Yes.
a year, plus the maintenance fee, and it's still not enough. So a lot of working families, like our family, want to support the children to succeed and will do whatever it takes. So for us as a family, it means we have to plug the gap, which is another 6,000. I have 2 children, that's £12,000 a year we're paying to support them as well. So it's, and I keep hearing the conversation about cutting fees, but what else could we do, should we do, what will you do?
Okay. I think-
Bursaries, grants,
Yeah.
you know, fast-tracking some of the longer courses, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is that there's no easy answer to this, and I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it and say I've got some simple way of cutting fees. I don't think that'd be the right thing to do. Let me go back to the first principles. What do we want here as a country? We want to have really great universities that it's worth our children going to, getting a degree so they can take on the world and succeed. That's the aim. And the money has to come from somewhere. And I think the fairest system is one that says graduates that go on and succeed in their careers should pay back the money they've borrowed. So what we've done is said you pay nothing up front in terms of these fees, but once you start earning 21,000, you start paying back. But you don't start paying back in full till you're earning £35,000. Now, I think that's fair, and I think it's working. And the reason I think it's working is since we put that in place, the numbers of young people going to university have gone up. Last year, for the first time, 500,000 young people chose to go to university. And crucially, the numbers of people from low-income backgrounds going to university has also increased. So I'm confident the system is delivering really good universities that it's worth going to. It's delivering ones that people want to choose to go to, and that will be good for them and good for our country. We've also, because we've found a way of paying for university education, we've uncapped the numbers that can go. But the crucial thing here is we've got to make sure we've got a country with an economy that will generate good jobs for the people leaving university to go into. Now, that's beginning to happen right now, creating 2 million new jobs in our country, seeing industries like this one succeed. So you will find some parties in this election saying they're going to cut the fees. Well, I say to them, fine, you're going to cut the fees. Where are you going to get the money from to make sure the universities are high quality? I think this system is working, so let's back it and let's go on creating the good jobs that our young people can do when they leave. One final thing on this, because I think it's so important. I think in our country we haven't been very good at explaining to young people what's available in terms of university on the one hand, great path to take, but also apprenticeships on the other hand. I was at Ford's Dagenham plant the other day, the engine plant, talking to 3 apprentices who'd done, I think it was a 3-year apprenticeship. And I said, what are you going to earn, do you think, at the end of your 3-year apprenticeship? They'd left school at 18, and the answer was they were going to be earning 30 grand a year. Now, I think there are many university graduates that won't be anything like that after 3 years at university. And I'm not saying everyone should now do apprenticeships and not go to universities. What we need to do as a country is publish the information and make sure all our schools are explaining it to young people, make sure teachers are explaining, and then help people to make a choice. And it might be an apprenticeship, it might be a degree, or in future, we're going to have this thing called a degree apprenticeship, which O2 might want to join in with, where O2 says, well, we want to get hold of this bright school leaver, get them working for us in their university vacations, help them through universities with lower fees, and then we have the choice of taking them on when they leave. So that could be an answer that would really help your children if we can fire up business about the idea of combining degrees and apprenticeships together. Have some more questions? Lady here.
Hiya. A lot of people are disenchanted with politics and politicians. How would you encourage them to vote?
A lot of people are disenchanted with politics and politicians. How do you encourage them to vote? There are lots of ideas that we should vote on a Sunday, vote by text, probably quite popular though too, that would be good business, that we should have the polling booths open for weeks on it. Now these are all interesting ideas, but the truth is, the reason people don't vote is they don't think it's going to make a difference. And I think that what the politicians have got to do is we've got to explain it really does make a difference. And there's a real choice here. And I think in this election there really is a choice. I'm not standing here saying I've been the perfect Prime Minister, I've got everything right. But I'm saying we've got a plan, and the plan is creating jobs. The plan is actually reducing people's taxes. It's building homes. It's building a stronger country. You can stick with that plan, and you know what you're going to get. Now, you can listen to the other teams and see what they're going to say. Now, they don't back the plan. They think that, you know, we shouldn't have made public spending reductions and efficiencies. We should have taken a different path. Let them explain. I'm not here to, you know, have a go at them today, but there is a choice. You know, what we did in the last 5 years, which I think has led to this stronger economic situation, the other parties did not support. So I think there is a choice about what we do, a choice about things like how we pay for university education, a choice about what sort of economy and country we build. And I think we just got to get out there and explain to people and try and answer their questions in as straight a way as we can to say this really does matter, because I really think it does. Sir, gentleman here. Yes, hold on, we got one. There is a microphone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cameron. Welcome again. Thank you for taking the time out and looking very relaxed, I'd have to say.
I don't feel relaxed, but I'm doing an impression of it.
So my question, not about manifesto this time. So if you don't win outright, and we go into this coalition government situation again, who's top of your list to join forces with?
Well, having just said I'm going to give very straight answers. Look, I'm in a race. I'm in a fight here, and it's a fight that I think really matters for the future of our country. My party is 23 seats short. Try saying that after a drink, 23 seats short. But anyway, we are, not that I've had a drink, by the way, I just want to point that out. You know, we're 23 seats short of a majority, and I'm going to do everything in the next 21 days to try and win that. I don't want another coalition. I don't think the country needs another coalition. I think the coalition worked and worked well. The country was in a difficult situation. Parties